dust, smoke, or moisture in the air, making it hard to see clearly. So this is a general term, and I should be specific. This is not fog, okay? So fog is when there's a lot of moisture in the air early in the morning. We would definitely call that fog. But if you look outside, and it's hard to see through the air because there's a lot of dust in the air, or there's a lot of moisture in the air, or smoke in the air, we say it is hazy. In this photo, you can see as you look further in the distance, it becomes hazier and harder to see. So haze is dust, smoke, or moisture in the air, making it hard to see clearly. Jen and I have a way to measure how hazy it is because we have large windmills on the horizon, and we know if we look a certain direction, there's 6 of them. But if we can only see 4, it's hazy. If we can only see 1, it's really, really hazy. Smoky. Smoke in the air, often from wildfires, which can reduce visibility and air quality. So this is actually what it looked like. I'm not sure if this picture's from that, but this is what the sky looked like on Tuesday, I think, or was it Wednesday?
It was Wednesday.
One of those days. It was just very, very orange. It was kind of odd. It was the middle of the day. My solar panels were not producing any power at all, even though the sun was shining, because it just looked like this. It was very, very smoky. Now, if you're wondering why smoky doesn't have an E in it, there are 2 versions of it. I think if you're talking about Smokey the Bear, like a character, a proper name, it has an E. But if you're talking about this, where there's lots of smoke, you use smoky. So smoke in the air, often from wildfires, which can reduce visibility and air quality. So right now, it's not only, let's look outside again. It's not only smoky if you look in the distance on the horizon, but you would also say it's probably hazy. And then air quality is pretty low right now. In fact, Jen, who's been outside more than me, can feel it in her throat. She's starting to get a bit of a sore throat. Air quality, let's make this as big as possible. How clean or polluted the air is and whether it is healthy to breathe. So you can see here, Toronto Air Quality Health Index. Orange warning for air quality. It is a 9, which is high risk. And this is for yesterday at 2 o'clock. So as I was making this lesson, the air quality yesterday was 9 out of 10. So it was high risk to be outside. When the air quality, which is how clean or polluted the air is and whether it is healthy to breathe, when the air quality is this high, they recommend that children don't go outside, people with breathing problems, old people, that they stay inside where the air quality is better, or that they wear an N95 mask in order to be able to breathe better. So air quality, how clean or polluted the air is, and whether it is healthy to breathe. Downpour. So we're shifting through a number of different advanced weather words for different kinds of weather. So we just did smoky and hazy and air quality. We're going to move into things related to rain. So a downpour is a short period of very heavy rain. So you can get caught in a downpour. So when we talk about a downpour, it's a time in the day where it's not raining, and then suddenly it is raining, and then it stops raining. So you'll often hear people say this: there was a downpour while I was driving home from work. I had to put the windshield wipers on high. Or I forgot my umbrella, and as I was walking from work to go out to lunch, I got caught in a downpour. So basically a short period of very, very heavy rain. If we got a downpour right now, it would improve the air quality because the downpour would remove the smoke from the air. Hopefully we do actually get a downpour. There's 2 nice things about rain during wildfires. 1, it puts out the wildfire, and 2, it makes the air quality better. Torrential rain, extremely heavy rain that can quickly cause flooding. Now, you might think that because Ontario, Canada, the province where I live, is in the middle of North America, and it's not in a tropical area, that we would not have torrential rain. But we do actually every once in a while. In fact, a couple of years ago in Toronto, they had so much rain that you can see the so I can just call this the TTC. I'm trying to think of the proper name for it, but the TTC, or the light rail system, was underwater. It was halfway underwater, and you can see these police officers wading through the water. Here's another word for you. When you wade, it's when you walk through water. So they are wading through the water, WADING, in order to go and see what's happening with the train. So torrential rain, extremely heavy rain that can quickly cause flooding. On the farm, we do not like torrential rain. We like long, soft rain. Like if it just rains a little bit for 12 hours, that's the kind of rain that we prefer. Scattered showers. So if you look at this weather map, you can see, that's a little too big. Short periods of rain that happen in some places, but not everywhere. So if you know how to read weather radar, when you see the red and the purple, that's very heavy rain. And the green is light rain. And the gray is probably just, it's probably just overcast and not raining, or it's maybe just spitting a little bit, or it's a little bit of a sprinkle. So scattered showers would be a day like this, where it might rain for a bit and then stop. There might be a downpour and then the sun comes out and then it rains again. So scattered showers, short periods of rain that happen in some places, but not everywhere. These are kind of, this must be American. Because look at those temperatures. This is definitely an American map. Oh, and you can see in the forecast, scattered showers, storms possible in the evenings. And it looks like I cut off the next word there. So scattered showers, short periods of rain that happen in some places, but not everywhere. Severe thunderstorm. So a severe thunderstorm is a dangerous storm with strong winds, large hail, heavy rain, or even tornadoes. So it doesn't have all of those things. And this is another thing that has started to happen here in Ontario, Canada, and around the world more often, I think. Quite often they'll say severe thunderstorms this evening. They're forecasting severe thunderstorms, winds up to 100 kilometers an hour, or possibly, or hail possible. So hail is when the raindrops freeze on the way down and they turn into little balls of frozen water. Hopefully they're not that big, by the way. Hopefully they're just little tiny ones. But anyways, a severe thunderstorm is not nice. There's usually a lot of thunder and a lot of lightning. There could be hail. There's usually high winds and then lots and lots of rain. And then sometimes a tornado, which is, we sometimes call it a twister. We don't experience those in my part of Ontario, Canada, but if you go west, they do happen from time to time. So severe thunderstorm, a dangerous storm with strong winds, large hail, heavy rain, or even tornadoes. Blustery, windy with strong changing gusts of wind. So a couple words here. Blustery means it's windy. So when you walk outside, you probably have to lean into the wind. But blustery also means the wind, in my opinion, changes direction and speed quite rapidly. So as you're walking, the wind is blowing here, and then it's blowing here, and then here. And it's like when you walk between a building, the wind hits you from a different direction. And then you might be walking in the wind, and then it stops for a little bit, and you walk some more, and it stops. So blustery, windy with strong, changing gusts of wind. Gale force winds. Here we go. Very strong winds that can damage trees, buildings, and power lines. So if you hear on the news that there's a storm coming and there are going to be gale force winds, you need to prepare. Here's what I do if they say gale force winds, which are probably winds above 100 kilometers an hour. I'm not a weather, but sorry, what is it? I'm not a meteorologist, so don't quote me on it. Here's what Jen and I would do. We would make sure we have gas for the generator in case the power goes out. Now I would charge my solar battery pack so that we have power. So if my solar system batteries are at 50%, I would start bringing them up to 100% in case the power went out. We would make sure, did I say this, that we had gas for the generator. We would make sure we knew where our extension cords were, and we would make sure on the farm that there was nothing outside that could blow away, okay? and then we would just wait for the storm to come. And it would not be super enjoyable. I do like a good storm. I don't like a storm with gale force winds.